Russell, mate, thanks so much for joining me for this little chat. You've been in the program, I think, for a little while, maybe since sort of Feb this year, but there was obviously some dormant time in between that. And in the last few months, you've just made absolute strides. And that's kind of what I wanted to chat through today, because I'm sure there's some people can learn from your lessons and kind of adapting and making the most of, I guess, what we have at our disposal and listening to, the market and that sort of thing. So, I mean, I'd love to just kind of get a bit of an idea. Well, firstly, a bit of an introduction with yourself and your brand and what you do. And then, potentially where you kind of got to before you and I kind of connected.
Yeah, okay. Well, good to be here. Good to chat to you as well. So I started a running brand, NFE Apparel, right? And it all sort of came about from some ladies that I was coaching to do some half Ironman races. And we used to have this hashtag NFE, which basically means no effing excuses, just no matter what the climate, no matter what the situation, get out and get it done, And it just sort of started growing from there. And I thought, well, I'd already done a little bit of customization and apparel overseas. So I put a running brand to it. And then I just had this focus that I was going to build this Australia's best ever running brand. And look, before I obviously got on board with you, I went through the normal stages that everyone does. I hired an agency that was going to make me millions of dollars and did all this other, wonderful things, but nothing eventuated. Dropped a lot of cash, a lot of frustration. I really didn't know then what I was going to do, whether I was going to continue, not continue. And then came across, your program yourself. And I think our first chat straight away, I was sort of pretty much set, because I just think your honesty and I just think like you seem to be, and I don't know if this is the right word, but like a normal person, as opposed to some of the others that I'd spoken to, so to speak. So yeah, did that and signed on, and then tried to kick it off, and then had some personal stuff that I need to go through, which took me out for a couple of months, and sort of got back on board again, and away we went.
Yeah, it's amazing, mate. As I say, through the progress, it's been amazing. So I guess from the time of coming in, or when you kind of rebooted and working with NFE and stuff like that, like what kind of transpired, the next few months? Like what kind of happened between sort of then and now?
Well, I think for me is one thing is being in this program, and also with your, the calls that you have has given me a lot of confidence where, I always felt that I had no understanding of like Facebook, and I probably still don't, but don't tell anyone, but no understanding of that. But just listening on the calls, it makes you realize that there's a lot of people in the same position as you, where when it's you, you think you're the only person in that position, right? So sometimes you're a bit afraid to reach out for help because you think, oh, I don't want to look silly, whatever the case may be. But it was so good to be able to get on calls, get that confidence. I think get confident in my brand for a start, which gave me a different mindset about what I could do. And then with that, I mean, the last few weeks has been crazy because, I spoke to you about, I felt I needed to put myself out there with my brand and put a face to it. And I attended a very small expo that I felt was going to do nothing, but I thought, oh, well, I've got to start somewhere. And, out of that produced like a most amazing week or month, whatever I've had as far as sales go. So it was just like mind blowing. And then from that point on, it's pretty much been the same. Like it's been unbelievable the last few weeks. So
yeah,
it's been good.
I mean, congrats, mate. I mean, I think you mentioned you'd kind of done like 30K from a few orders, and going from pretty much zero to kind of like that 30K, and as you say, continuing on is as you say, kind of unbelievable. And I think there's some really important things in there that you mentioned that you may just kind of be talking down a little bit, but really important in terms of like having that confidence and self-belief, and hopefully getting that from people like myself and people within the program to really pursue that and have that belief. Because I mean, you couldn't really imagine how many people have really great ideas, have maybe got a little bit of bubbling kind of success, and then don't have that self-belief or confidence and kind of just give up the business, which means, it obviously ceases. And we kind of went through this ourselves as a business, my brother and I, where it was like, yeah, we might bubbling. And we come at crossroads. Should we give up or should we keep going? And this probably happened 2 or 3 times for us. And obviously we continued to go. And every time we made that sort of crossroads decision to keep going, we saw some exponential growth. And it just kind of makes you think of what would happen if we gave up. Like literally nothing would eventuate. And that was so much waiting for us on the other side. And so that's definitely really important. And so really glad that the community has been able to provide that confidence for you as well. But also commending you on adapting with the market and listening to the market, and again, putting yourself out there, having conversations, because that is, again, I think a big mistake that people make is that they're online. They don't need to talk to customers. They don't need to get feedback from people. This is it, take it or kind of leave it. Whereas you've gone, well, geez, now maybe I need to get some real market feedback. Who knows what might happen from this opportunity? And literally, as fast as I think I've ever seen it, you just blew up, which is incredible.
Well, I went to the show to showcase, like, I went this purely not to even make a sale. Like, I was worried about having, my Square reader set up and all that stuff. I thought, let's just go do shit. See what happens at the end of the day, right? So all of a sudden, mate, like, it's like, I have my running brand, and I think it's great fabrics, and people that have worn it think it's fantastic. But then, this guy that's got this mining company comes along and he sees a sublimated thing, and he's got a race car. And he says, oh, mate, I want to get some stuff for my race car. Can you do that? And I just go, yep. So I have this one thing where I go, just say yes and then work it out later. And then out of that came like his stuff for his car, which ended up being like, then he's got this event that he's sponsoring. So it was like, mate, I've done things from like, for him, polos, sublimated shirts, flannelette shirts, caps. It's like, now if there's an offset from that mining company, I'm doing seat covers for them. Like, it's just gone like, and if I wouldn't have gone there and I guess had the confidence in my product, like, that conversation would never have started with that guy. Like, I would have said, no, I'm strictly doing running, mate. But when I just saw this opportunity to say, well, okay, I can, mate. I knew I could. So let's go and do it and see where it takes us. So
incredible, mate. It's really good. And something, I mean, we've had experience with as well. I mean, the amount of times we go into something in the early days and said, no, not one of these, not one of these, you can have that attitude and it's not going to serve you in any light, or you can just say, look, I'm here. I'm going to give it the best shot and I'm going to see what I can absolutely get out of it. Literally every single time we have done that and taken that attitude, something that we thought was going to be absolutely fruitless, we did exactly as you did, met one person that got us to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, even to the point of like when we were running our business, like out of our residential property, and we were coming up with our lease, and we met someone at one of these events that we could use their kitchen, right? Like for 6 months or something. It's just that connection to that influencer, to that publication, to this and that. And it's just the power of, as you say, putting yourself out there and having the confidence in what you're doing, and just really, really giving yourself the best opportunity to succeed. And I think that's, I mean, a hard lesson that we learn, and anybody who hasn't done a coaching program, but prior to us doing our own coaching programs as well, is you don't know what you don't know, and you're limiting yourself by your own mindset, basically, So to have that kind of support and confidence behind that is, I would say, literally everything to somebody either succeeding or not. And that's just like 10 years of being in ecom and, doing self-development to the hills, right? It's just absolutely everything. So, I'm just, super excited that that's what you're getting to. Yeah,
mate, I remember a call that I was on, and I look, sorry, but I can't think of the lady's name, but she has the left-handed.
Oh yeah, Alison.
Products. Alison in New Zealand, and she spoke about that day. It was like, I think it was that call. She said, she's going to put herself out there and go and visit a school.
That's
I think from memory.
That's
whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And that particular call was the one for me to go, hang on a minute. I just think someone's going to get onto my Shopify site and buy stuff. Like, let's, and it was her talking about that. And she also, I think at the time, spoke about her fears of doing that and that sort of thing from memory. Like, it was a couple of months ago now. And that's what triggered me to go do that eventually. Like, I thought, well, what's the worst can happen? Like, you pack your stuff up, you unpack it, you take it home. Like, what's the worst can happen? So it was one of those calls that sort of triggered my head to go, let's have a go. And it's like,
incredible. It's such that's so nice to be able to remember that kind of pivotal moment. And it's like literally the rest is kind of history. You're writing your own script now, which is awesome. And you just got nothing to fear. Like, you have the belief in yourself, and you have to have that until you can get evidence within the marketplace. And you've got that, you're at that point, which is incredible, mate. So, I mean, I can't be more proud of you and what we're going to achieve more together, mate. So I'm very, very excited to see where this goes. Thanks obviously for sharing that. And there's some really valuable lessons in there for people who are at where the stage you were. And it's nice to see people come through obviously the program and get what they came in there for. I think that's kind of what gives
sure.
me the most gratification, So,
Yeah.
congratulations, mate. And yeah,
Thank you, mate.
my
I
pleasure.
probably, I don't know. I won't speak for anyone else that's in your program, but I reckon I could be. But you're so genuine and you're so helpful in your learnings and whatever the case may be in your direction. And I don't think I've come across anyone that I've gone into some sort of program to look at that's been so generous with your time as what you've been. So I think you're a great credit to the success that a lot of people are having in the program. 100%.
Super appreciate that, mate. Honestly, it's literally why I do it. I mean, to help you guys succeed, that's all I want, and want to provide as many resources as possibly can, which is hopefully the mistakes that I've made. So
we're happy to take them on and not make them. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, mate, thanks again so much for sharing. Love having you here, and many more successes to come, mate. So
appreciate it. Cheers.
Awesome, buddy. Cheers.